So Mahindra just unveiled its big daddy of SUVs, the Mahindra Scorpio-N, another product by Mahindra to disrupt the market. But hang on, why did Mahindra plan to launch the new Scorpio-N in first place? The answer is very simple and complicated at the same time. In this video, we will be analyzing this brand new SUV and explaining the significance of this SUV in Mahindra's current lineup. This video might help you in choosing between the three newest SUVs by Mahindra. At the end of this video, I am sure that you will get an idea which SUV would be best suited for you for your use case. Everyone in India knows the name of Scorpio. This car has a certain cult following. It was released back in 2002 and has been selling pretty well for past 20 years. Even before the launch of next gen Scorpio-N, Mahindra sold almost 4,000 units of Scorpio. Over the years, Scorpio has received cosmetic upgrades with time. First in 2006, then in 2009 and last in 2014. This is the first reason for the Scorpio-N. The car has largely been the same since last 20 years and has been waiting for an upgrade since long time, especially in terms of stability and safety. As you might have guessed till now, this is the reason why Mahindra is releasing the new Scorpio-N. But you might ask, why Mahindra is planning to sell current gen Scorpio under the badge of Scorpio Classic, which is a pretty valid question I think. On this very question, Vijay Nakra, CEO of Mahindra & Mahindra, told journalists that Scorpio-N and Scorpio Classic have totally different customer base. Scorpio-N basically targets urban buyers, while Scorpio Classic mainly targets buyers from semi-urban and rural regions of the country. Since that brand still holds quite a lot of value in those regions and Scorpio was already selling pretty well before the launch of next generation, almost 4k units in the month of May 2022. Which is quite a lot for a car which hasn't received a generation change since last 20 years. And according to him, Scorpio-N and Scorpio Classic don't clash with one another and serve a different purpose for their lineup. You might say, if Scorpio-N doesn't clash with the Scorpio Classic, surely it does clash with the XUV700 and Thar. And you may be right. All of the SUVs fall in the similar price range. They have similar petrol and diesel engines. But as I said earlier, it's much more complicated than that. See, cars have two kinds of chassis. One is a monocoque and another is a ladder-on frame. In a ladder-on frame chassis, the engine and the body of the vehicle is mounted on top of a ladder frame. This makes it a robust structure which makes it ideal for commercial vehicles like trucks and buses, while in private vehicles, this construction is ideal for SUVs and 4x4s like Mahindra Thar. However, nowadays monocoque chassis have become more popular in the construction of private vehicles. In this, the chassis is forged into the basic structure of the vehicle, creating one singular object known as a unibody or monocoque. Since this makes vehicles lighter and thereby making them ideal for hatchbacks and sedans. However, these days many SUVs are also made with monocoque chassis like Mahindra's XUV700. So basically Thar is based on a ladder-on frame chassis and XUV700 on a monocoque chassis. This creates totally different driving dynamics for both cars. Thar is a hardcore off-roader ideal for rugged terrain, while XUV700 is a chauffeur-driven SUV ideal for comfort in city and highways. Thar is a rear-wheel drive in normal conditions with 4x4, while XUV700 is front-wheel drive. Yes, I know XUV700 has an option of all-wheel drive, but still the car hasn't been designed to tackle extreme off-road conditions. And that's where Scorpio-N comes in. The car is exactly a middle point between Thar and XUV700. Scorpio-N is a rear-wheel drive with option of 4x4. With ladder-on frame construction, it can tackle extreme off-road situations. But by being a 7-seater, it solves the issue of lack of space in Thar. Mahindra has tuned the suspension to be much more comfortable on normal roads so that it can be a good everyday car as well by mitigating its body roll. The car has more features than Thar but less than XUV700. This car mainly targets audience who want best of both worlds. Ruggedness of Thar and also a good car which can be a good everyday car just like XUV700. We know that all three cars come with the same petrol and diesel engine options. 2-liter turbocharged M-Stallion petrol engine and 2.2-liter turbocharged M-Hawk diesel engine. However, there is a difference in tuning of all of them. For petrol, the Scorpio-N comes with similar tuning as we saw on XUV700. It comes with 200 horsepower and with 370 Nm of torque in manual and 380 Nm of torque in automatic. Meanwhile, Thar comes with only 150 horsepower with 300 Newton meters of torque. Which again means best of both worlds. A rear wheel drive ladder on frame chassis from Thar and power and comfort from XUV700. However, do note that there isn't a 4x4 option in petrol Scorpio-N. For diesel, Z2 and Z4 come with engine tuning similar to the Thar with 130 horsepower and with 300 Newton meters of torque, with option of 4x4 as well in Z4 but for manual only, but without manually locking differential and drive modes. Which means that if you want space and comfort better than Thar on a budget and you have a requirement of 4x4, this variant is actually perfect for you. For Z6, Z8 and Z8L, the engine tuning is similar to the XUV700 with 175 horsepower and with 370 Newton meters of torque in manual and 400 Newton meters of torque in automatic. And Scorpio-N also gets an option of 4x4 in manual and automatic, with rear-wheel drive capabilities in every model. The XUV700 meanwhile is front-wheel drive only and has an option of all-wheel drive. Eagle-eyed viewers would have observed that these figures for Scorpio-N are actually less than of XUV700. The XUV700 produces 182 horsepower with 420 Newton meters of torque in manual and 450 Newton meters of torque in automatic. But why is that, you may ask? Well, probably the reason for this is that XUV700 is front-wheel drive and Scorpio-N is rear-wheel drive. Since the engine is placed in front of both cars, for power to reach rear wheels in Scorpio-N, there is a drive shaft that transfers power from engine and transmission to the rear differential and ultimately to rear wheels. The transfer of power through the drive shaft causes a bit of torque and power loss due to many factors, which is probably why XUV700 has more power and torque than Scorpio-N. This still means that you get performance close to XUV700 but with rear wheel drive and ladder on frame chassis, but with much better off-road capabilities, especially with 4x4. Scorpio-N comes with 6-speed manual gearbox and 6-speed automatic transmission as on Thar and XUV700. So which one should you buy? Well, this basically depends on your use case. If you want a complete hardcore off-roader, space and comfort isn't a priority for you and want to do the most extreme adventures with your car, go with Mahindra Thar, no questions asked. The car probably has the best off-roading capabilities of all of them. If most of your drive is in the city and you want a great family car with great comfort and more features like ADAS, go for XUV700. The all-wheel drive option would be enough for your trip to Ladakh, and probably the car has the best driving dynamics on normal roads and highways. The car is probably the most practical of all of them. But if you want space and capability to take your car anywhere, and I mean anywhere, go for Scorpio-N. It provides you with more features and space than Thar and will be a much more practical option if you want to use that car as a family car as well. And with 4x4 option with rear wheel drive as a standard, the car has a great off-roading capability which is ideal for overlanding expeditions. And if you are a Scorpio fan, then look no further. You probably are already planning to buy this car. So that was the video, guys. Be sure to give it a like and do let me know down in the comments below whether you are planning to buy the Scorpio-N for yourselves or are considering XUV700 or Thar instead. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more such interesting videos and do turn on the notification bell. That way you will be notified whenever a new upload is done on the channel. See you soon in a future video. Goodbye.